Welcome to the Insight Channel, your user's guide to living life with vision loss. I'm Jazz, I'm a blind occupational therapist, and I'll be your guide. Today I'm going to finish off the laundry series with something that can be kind of stressful for some people if you have low vision or no vision, and that is how to use an iron safely and effectively. You'd be surprised with just a few simple adaptations. You can take this tough task and make it fairly easy. I'll show you how. So like any good adaptation for managing laundry, you have to begin at the beginning. Know your fabrics, because when you're using an iron, it's very important that you not have it too hot or too cool, and you know what you're doing, because there are lots of settings on these things. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the mechanisms of the iron because they are all so different, but there are some generalities. The fabric I'm working with today is cotton. Usually cotton and linen are the fabrics that get wrinkled the most and need the most help. So when I work with cottons, I like to use the steam feature on the iron. And so with that means I need to put water into the iron. So at the top of the handle of most irons, you'll feel a hole, and that is where you have to put water in. So find yourself a handy dandy small funnel, because it's a little bitty hole. And if you put water into a cup first, that gives you a lot more control for lining up the lip of the cup and the funnel to slowly fill that reservoir. Okay, so put just as much water in the cup as you think you're going to need to put in there so you don't overfill. And you just need a little bit. It really depends on how much ironing you're going to do. So the next thing, now that I've got a reservoir full of water, I am going to set it. Now, generally, if I have a very a fabric that's very delicate, like silk or nylon, there is a setting for that on the iron, but I'm gonna be honest with you, if that fabric is that delicate, I'm gonna have it pressed by professionals and bring it to a dry cleaner. I tend to just stick with the tougher fabrics that are a little bit easier to deal with when it comes to ironing. I'm just going to be flat out honest with you, because you don't want to scorch something that's very delicate. So I know with this iron, if I keep it all the way over to the right, I am going to have it on cottons, which is exactly where I need it to do the pair of pants. So here I am with a standard ironing board and iron, and I'm going to demonstrate these techniques on a pair of pants. But before I get started, there are a few things that you need to know in order to do this safely and effectively. And the first is to know how to pick up your iron without accidentally touching the hot part. So this iron is hot, it's plugged in. Every now and then there'll be little puffs of steam that come through. How am I going to find it? Check it out. If you put your hand on the edge of your ironing board that is closest to you and follow that edge until you feel the cord of the iron. The cord is always at the base of that iron. So if you follow the cord up to the handle, then you can safely pick up that handle without running the risk of touching the hot side of the iron. My second safety tip is that ironing boards can be very rickety. So if you put one of your feet on the base of your ironing board, that'll keep it from tipping over and keep your ironing from tipping and falling off. My third safety tip is actually safety for your clothes. If you're using the steam feature, you want to go ahead and take the iron and steam the board first to make sure it's at the right temperature, because if it's too hot, it might damage your clothes. So let's get started. I have a pair of pants. I pulled one of the pant legs over the more pointed end of the ironing board. And so there is a seam that is facing the ceiling, but that seam is pulled closer to the edge of the ironing board away from me, so to give me a nice section to work with. And this pair of pants has a pocket, and I'm gonna give you a little tip about pockets. If you take the inner lining of that pocket and pull it up, it'll allow you to give it a nice smooth crease, smooth out the front of the pants better. All right, so here are some tips. We're working in sections. Follow that seam, use it to your advantage. You can easily feel it with the iron. When you're ironing, you lay it down flat. Okay, follow the seam. You're only going to move in one direction. Don't move backwards. Always move forwards and wiggle the iron back and forth as you go. As you're doing it, if you can pull the material nice and tight and taut, that'll also help give you a nice smooth result. So after you go around both of the pant legs, you want to put the seams together and get them all nice and straight. And then I'm going to fold the bottom one back so I can go ahead and iron the top pant leg, but the bottom part. Okay, so we can get a nice crisp. All right, get it nice and crisp. All right, so it's laying flat. Again, we're going to work in sections. We're going to use the seam as our guide. We're going to just stay on one side of that seam with the iron. We're going to move in one direction and wiggle the iron. So I'm going to start here at the bottom, lay the iron flat. I'm wiggling, I'm using that seam to follow and going up the pant leg. So there we have it, a beautifully pressed pair of pants that are wrinkle-free. So the key to success when you are ironing or trying to get wrinkles out of your clothes is to use your sense of touch to really get a good feel for what it feels like when a fabric is wrinkled up and you want to get it nice and smooth. Now, if using an iron just doesn't feel right or you don't feel safe, you do have a lot of options nowadays. There are a lot of wrinkle-free fabrics that you can purchase. Polyesters tend to do better if you hang them up when they come out of the wash. Also, there is the wrinkle release that I had shown in a previous video. Once the clothes are dry and they feel wrinkled, you can spray it and pull the fabric tight, and that helps to release the wrinkles. So you've got options. One of my favorite gizmos to help with wrinkles, so you don't even have to worry about ironing, is called a pants stretcher. Voila! Pants stretcher. So these are pants that just came out of the wash, and there is a little gizmo in here that you put in there, and it stretches them out so that as they dry, stretched, they dry without wrinkles. This is a wonderful device. You can get them in a lot of different places where they sell laundry supplies, and I'm going to show you how they work. It is a very simple device. It is just a metal frame that allows you to adjust the either end of it to accommodate the size of the pair of pants. So I have a pair of pants here that just came out of the wash, and they are lying with the top of the pants to the right, the bottom of the pants to the left, and I am sliding this wire frame into one of the pants legs. Of course, the first thing you want to do is make sure it is fastened, which it is. I buttoned it up. So you push there we go. We push the frame all the way in, and then all you have to do is pull it open at the top to pull the top flat. Then you pull it open at the bottom, making sure the bottom's flat, and then you want to line up your seams so that they are in line with each other to make sure that you're getting it. Voila! That you've got the seams in the right place, and that is as simple as it is. Now I'm going to just flip it over, do the other pant leg, and I will have a nice smooth pair of pants without even having to turn on the iron. So now you have insight into how this works. Using your proprioception, your sense of touch, and patterned movements is all it really takes to be able to use an iron safely and effectively if you have vision loss. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click the thumbs up at the bottom of your screen. Click to subscribe so you can get notifications when I have new videos. Send me your comments, your ideas for future videos, or any questions you might have. My job is to give you the tips, tools, and techniques for living life with vision loss and to be a success. So no worries, you got this. See you next time.